Are you sick of getting 0 views? Do you feel like the algorithm's against you? Well, watch the end of the video and you and me can fix this problem together. Do you know what? We've all been there, right? You've spent hours filming and editing your video and you have that first excitement of posting them. You check YouTube Studio a couple of days later and you've got 0 views. Or you've just got a handful of views and they came from your own family or your friends that you told them to watch anyway. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? So if you've clicked here or the algorithm brought you here, it's because you've already thought about quitting, or you're thinking to yourself, is all this even worth it? And why are you putting all this work in if nobody's going to see your videos anyway, let alone watch them? So when I first started on YouTube, let me tell you, this is a normal feeling. I did the exact same thing, spent hours working on the videos, editing, posting them, hoping for the best. Sometimes I thought it was the best video in the entire world ever. It would end up getting 10 views. But you know what? Let me show you how we can fix this. But first, why you want to listen to me? I'm not special. I'm just a dad of 3 girls. I have a full-time business and I'm going to be 45 this year. But it just so happens my hobby is making content on YouTube, and I've been making content for over 7 years now on Instagram and YouTube, obviously. As you can see, my sort of set behind me, you can kind of guess what I do. I make cocktail videos. So when I say I've watched my fair share of social media gurus giving me the latest tips and tricks, promising me that if you change one thing in your settings, you're going to get piles of views and impressions, most of it is absolute bullshit. I mean, if there was one thing in the settings that you could change to skyrocket your views, wouldn't everybody be doing that? Wouldn't everybody's views be skyrocketing? On this channel, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell you what actually works and why it works. I think too, when you get frustrated at the start with low views, it's like a natural reaction. It feels like you're being rejected. You're being rejected by the viewers. You're being rejected by YouTube. And you're thinking to yourself, why is no one watching? But when you first start out on YouTube, what you don't realize is that time is relative on YouTube. And what I mean by that is all those big, massive YouTube channels, you're talking Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, you know them, all the big ones. They have been around for a very long time. You're talking 6, 7, 8 years, sometimes even more. But the channels that skyrocket at the start of their journeys, they are the exception, they're not the rule. One stat that always sticks with me is that 8.86% of the 103 million YouTube channels ever make it to 1,000 subscribers. And just remember that even Mr. Beast, who has 357 million subscribers, he was making YouTube videos for 5 years before one of them became viral. So basically what I'm saying here is YouTube journey is a marathon, not a sprint. So if you're already struggling with your YouTube journey, just know that you're welcome here in this community and you're not alone. So now I'm going to show you why when you're first starting out, your videos don't get any views at all, or they get really, really low views. Now I'm going to show you this on some state-of-the-art equipment. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, here is my state-of-the-art equipment. This is you, and you create content. You then upload that content to YouTube, and then you're at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm gods. The YouTube algorithm then decides if you're going to have impressions. Now, impressions are when viewers will decide to click or not click on your video, which is called the CTR, click-through rate. From this, you either get views when somebody clicks, or no views when nobody clicks. Well, let me take you back to the start again. So you're a brand new channel though. You create your content, you upload, you're at the mercy of the YouTube algorithm. But instead of getting impressions, you'll find if you go into YouTube Studio that if you're a new channel and you've posted maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 videos, you hardly get any impressions at all. So why is that? Why do you not get any impressions? Well, it's because the YouTube algorithm doesn't actually know who to send your content to yet. But here is where we're going to fix this, because we're going to draw a new path. We'll go to here, and it's called search. So what we're going to do is we're going to make searchable content that will give us impressions. So the more impressions you get, hopefully that leads to more people clicking on your thumbnail and you getting views. So let's recap. The reason you're not getting the impressions already is because the algorithm hasn't figured out what your content is yet and who to show it to. But we can fix that. What we're going to do is we're going to make searchable content. What I mean by that is content that will be easy to find in search. So how do you do that? What you want to do is you make your title and your thumbnail and your description, everything has to be optimized for SEO, search engine optimization. And why are we going to do that? Because YouTube is the world's second biggest search engine, owned by Google, which is the first biggest search engine. So YouTube might not know who your audience is yet, but if you make your stuff discoverable by search, then people can search for that content and your video will be one of the ones that pop up on search. An example of this could be you're a gardening channel and you've posted a video, something like planting tomatoes in the garden. Now you might think to yourself that that's a pretty searchable title. How to plant tomatoes in a garden might come up on search there, but you need to be more specific. I would try doing a title like how and when to plant heirloom tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, something like that. Something more specific, something people are more likely to type into the search bar at the top of the page. And even for your thumbnail, if you were doing that, you would have the text heirloom tomatoes or cherry tomatoes in the text of your thumbnail. So that's just an example, but this is where you can also use the description part of your video. When I first started out on YouTube, I used to hardly put anything in the description at all for my video. I'd be like, oh, this is if I was making like a mojito cocktail, I would just go, how to make a mojito cocktail. That's all I would put in the description. Guess what? Hardly any views. But then recently I made one, the full description, full of keywords, done really well. Surprise, surprise. But basically what you want to do is fill that description full of keywords and long tail keywords. You're going to basically optimize it for SEO. If you're not familiar with SEO, let me know in the comments and I'll make a separate video for it. This SEO is going to give the algorithm gods of YouTube just something to work with. And hopefully when people search for that content, your video is going to be one of the ones that pop up. After you do that for a few videos, and it could take a while, could maybe take 6 or 7, maybe even 10 videos, then after that, post what you want, even if it's not discoverable, and hopefully you're going to get impressions coming your way now. Also, I should add too, if you've done all that and your videos become discoverable, you need to make sure your thumbnail and your title is intriguing enough that people will actually click on it, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. People want to click on the video and watch it. We've got our discoverable content. We've got great titles, great thumbnails. Then once you've got people watching your video, you need to get them in the first 30 seconds with what's called a hook, which is going to make people stay around, hopefully, until the end of the video. So my biggest takeaway from making videos over the years is probably this. When you're making a video for a viewer just like you, Put yourself in your viewer's position. What do they want to see? What question do they need answered? And how can you help with that question in your video? And if you're doing all those things in your videos, you will get views, I promise you. Then you just need to keep it consistent. Now, you've probably heard this a million times from these kind of videos explaining about YouTube, but consistency is key. But I'm going to add this too. Unless you're improving something in every video that you do, then what's the point in consistently posting shit videos? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've been making videos on YouTube and Instagram for years, and when I look back on the very first videos I did, I cringe so bad. But when I posted them, I thought they were the best thing in the entire world ever. But just remember that each one of your videos is a chance to do something better. Whether it be working on your audio, your lighting, your script, your title, or your thumbnail. Just remember, at the start, nothing needs to be perfect. In fact, my audio was absolutely rubbish for about the first 50 videos I ever did on YouTube. I've got a funny story about it too. So I bought a wireless mic at the start. I didn't realize that it was only recording sound on one channel instead of two, which meant it was recording in mono and not stereo. But I didn't even realize this for the first 50 videos, because whenever I was doing the editing, I was doing it through my computer and then watching it back on the TV. The sound was fine. I just didn't realize there was anything wrong with it. But then as my videos became more popular, I was getting more comments in the comment section. And some of the comments said things like, I can't hear you, or no sound. And I'm like, that's weird. Nobody's complained about that before. And it wasn't until I read one of the comments where somebody said they were listening through Apple AirPods and they could only hear me through one ear, and then it clicked for me. And it was such an easy fix on my end too. It was like literally I just had to press a button on the wireless mic and then it would record stereo. But it took me 50 videos to realize this mistake. So yeah, low views, frustration is natural early on in your YouTube journey. But you gotta use it as your motivation just to get better. Also, a little note about consistency. Consistency is key, but only post as much as you're actually comfortable with posting. Don't stress yourself out, because you don't want to burn out. Burnout is a real thing. I burnt out a couple of years ago, and I didn't post on social media for an entire year after that. And do you remember my comment earlier on where time is relevant on YouTube? With your own channel, you cannot compare your channel to anybody else's channel. Everybody's on their own journey. Some people post once a month, some people post once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Every channel is going to have different growth rates, and you know what? That's okay. From what I've learned over 7 years and seen with my own eyes, is that it's more of a normal thing for a channel to take time to grow an audience than it is for a channel to blow up overnight and go viral. In your YouTube journey, success is possible for everyone, as long as you're patient and you keep on improving your videos just one at a time. With all this information, I invite you to join our small channel community, where it can become a place where we can all share our stories and tips and tricks and grow together. My name is Ben, and this has been the first video on this new channel. And with that, I leave you with a quote from a famous wrestler. Never give up. Never give